Good morning everyone, my name is Jayaprakash and I welcome you all to Mentora IS platform. On this platform, our objective is to cover current affairs for your upcoming prelims examination, Prelims 2026. So here we will cover current affairs of every subject starting from January 2025 to April 2026. ठीक है, so आपको comprehensive preparation current affairs का मिलेगा on this platform, and if you are following it properly, regularly, then we will ensure that nothing is left behind for your upcoming prelims examination. And the current affairs importance is such that there are more than 30 to 35 questions which are some way either directly, indirectly or partially related to current affairs. All right, so today I will take up basically I take up subjects of economy and environment here, and today the discussion is on environment from January 2025. ठीक है, so these are the links to social media platform, you can follow them. ठीक है, so first topic is annual groundwater quality report. This report was published by the Ministry of Jal Shakti Ministry, and this report was, the assessment is about the 2024 groundwater report across the country, and the report was published in January 2025. ठीक है, so first the MCQ, as I said that in the previous discussion, that the pattern of our discussion will first start with MCQs. If you want to answer it, you can pause the video, check for the answer. ठीक है, or you can follow up with the discussion. इस discussion में I will say कि क्या क्या यहाँ पे इसका correct option होगा. So the question is, consider the following statements. Central Pollution Control Board is established under Environment Protection Act. ठीक है, Central Pollution Control Board. It looks obvious, but there's a trick here. I will explain it later. Central Groundwater Authority controls industrial pollution and monitors air quality. Third is Central Groundwater Board. This is Groundwater Authority, this is board, is responsible to conduct groundwater resource estimation across the country. ठीक है, how many of the statements given above are correct? So in this report, see, there was very few points that were specific to this report. All the other things we know already. ठीक है, so we will discuss about the pollution, groundwater pollution, main types of pollution, areas where there is a maximum groundwater extraction. ठीक है, the institutions responsible for the management, regulation, quality control of groundwater across the country. ठीक है, so first few couple of findings from this report. It says that India is the largest user of groundwater and has the largest area under groundwater irrigation in the world. India has the largest user of groundwater. See, despite so much crisis about groundwater or any other type of water, India is fortunately blessed with lot of freshwater resources. ठीक है, but we have to use it judiciously. ठीक है, so first is India's largest user of groundwater. Second point is 87% of the extracted groundwater is used in agriculture, and this is problematic because in India we practice areas where there is available groundwater or surface water, the area practice intensive water irrigation practices, right? Like you have seen in Punjab, there is practice of growing paddy, ठीक है, and that consumes a lot of water. Then sugarcane in UP, Maharashtra, Gujarat, parts of Madhya Pradesh. ठीक है, so they are water guzzling crops. अच्छा, 11% is used in domestic, so only 2 to 3% is used for industrial purpose. ठीक है, so agriculture, domestic, industrial. Third is annual groundwater recharge has increased to 57 BCM substantially, and extractions declined by 3 BCM in 2024 compared to 2007. It means that the amount of water we were extracting has now come down, declined, and the amount of and the water recharge every year has improved. It means that overall the situation of groundwater across the country has been showing some positive signs of improvement. Then key bodies to manage groundwater. The first is Central Pollution Control Board. See, Central Pollution Control Board is a statutory organization, but it is not established under the Environment Protection Act of 1986. Rather, it has been established under the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974, right? The function is to it controls industrial pollution and monitors water quality. Main function is to control industrial pollution so that the pollution from industries does not pollute the groundwater. Jurisdiction, surface water and groundwater. ठीक है? So you should know the fact that this is about Water Act. Now next body, Central Groundwater Authority. This was Central Pollution Control Board. This is Central Groundwater Authority, and this body has been established under Environment Protection Act 1986. ठीक है? The function is to regulate groundwater use through NOCs, no objection certificates, guidelines and restrictions. So it regulates the groundwater use, right? Jurisdiction again, groundwater quality and regulation. So this body is established under Environment Protection Act of 1986. Then you have Central Groundwater Board. See, first of all, this is not a statutory organization. Okay? This is simply a body under Ministry of Jal Shakti. This is a scientific technical organization, and its purpose is to conduct survey, aquifer mapping, and the main agenda is to estimate the groundwater resource available across the country. Areas which have sufficient groundwater, areas which are stressed, which are facing extreme crisis. So it does all kind of estimation, and it basically gives the government or the public scientific and technical input about the availability of groundwater in different areas of the country, so that the usage of groundwater, the extraction of groundwater can be managed in a proper scientific manner. Okay? Now if you see the question, this is incorrect. No, this is established under the Water Act of 1974. Central Groundwater Authority does not controls industrial pollution. It is this body which controls industrial pollution, and this is correct. Third is correct. It conducts resource estimation. So only one, A option is correct. Now some more details in this topic, and it is about naturally occurring contaminants. You should know the areas which are more contaminated with a specific type of contaminant. Okay? Arsenic. See, if you see the entire Ganga belt, the areas along the Ganga, they are all have become arsenic belt. Means they are the groundwater in this area, starting from particularly eastern UP, Bihar, West Bengal, they have become polluted with arsenic. Okay? They are primarily found in Ganga Brahmaputra plains. All right. So West Bengal, Bihar, UP, Assam, and it is caused by natural geological release from sediments. होता क्या है कि जब भी there is a certain balance between the groundwater, water that is tapped between two rocks. ठीक है? बैलेंस होता है उसमें, कितना ग्राउंड वाटर का लेवल क्या है और जो सराउंडिंग रॉक्स हैं. द मोमेंट ग्राउंड वाटर रिसीड्स बिलो सर्टेन लेवल, देयर इज लीचिंग ऑफ द सेडिमेंट्स फ्रॉम द रॉक्स. ठीक है? एंड दैट पोल्यूट्स द ग्राउंड वाटर. इट डिपेंड्स कि उस रॉक का कंपोजिशन क्या है. ठीक है? सो दिस एरिया इज पोल्यूटेड विथ आर्सेनिक. देन यू हैव फ्लोराइड कंटामिनेशन in hard rock regions of Rajasthan, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, mostly in the southern states, two western states, Rajasthan and Gujarat. Fluoride contamination. This basically contamination leads to bone issues, right? Uranium contamination in Rajasthan and Punjab, again due to over extraction of groundwater. Uranium contamination. ठीक है? Iron contamination is high in Assam, Bihar, Odisha, West Bengal, northeastern regions. Particularly the eastern and northeastern belt is polluted with iron contamination. Salinity, this problem mainly occurs in the coastal areas. Okay? When there is over extraction from groundwater, the sea water will eventually intrude into the groundwater tables, right? And Gujarat, particularly Kutch and Saurashtra, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu coast, these areas have high salinity content in groundwater. Then you have nitrate. By the way, nitrate is not naturally occurring. This is related to anthropogenic. So particularly due to use of fertilizer in agriculture, and this fertilizer eventually goes into the water bodies and seeps into the groundwater, and it is common across Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, UP, Tamil Nadu. Okay? So you can see that these areas, particularly Punjab, UP, Tamil Nadu, they are also have they intensively use the groundwater, okay? Particularly in cultivation of paddy. So these are the main contaminants. First arsenic, then fluoride, uranium, iron, salinity across the coastal states, iron in the eastern, northeastern, then fluoride majorly in the southern states, then arsenic across the Ganga Brahmaputra plains. These are the main steps taken by the government to control the, to limit the pollution in the groundwater, to control its extraction, to manage that that the regions of India have sufficient groundwater level. ठीक है, so that mismanage कैसे हो सकता है? You should control the extraction. You should involve the community in the recharge of groundwater. You should take various steps, incentivize people to recharge the groundwater, to set up groundwater recharge systems. ठीक है. So first is Atal Bhujal Yojana. It is basically a scheme which involves community, and it is a demand side interventions for sustainable groundwater management in water stressed gram panchayat. See, it is about groundwater management that involves community, and this scheme is applicable in water stressed gram panchayats across 7 states. So this is not across the India. ठीक है, water stressed gram panchayats are identified, and accordingly the community is involved in the recharge of groundwater, to control the over extraction of groundwater. Then you have Jal Shakti Abhiyan. It was initially pilot program, then expanded as Catch the Rain in 2021. ठीक है, covering all districts nationwide. So initially its application was limited, and again the core agenda of this abhiyan is to recharge, to set up groundwater recharge systems, to catch the rain, harvest the rainwater, and recharge the groundwater. ठीक है, Jal Shakti Abhiyan now applicable across the country. Mission Amrit Sarovar. This is about creating the wetlands. ठीक है, rejuvenate 75 Amrit Sarovars in every district. So 75 wetlands will be rejuvenated in all the districts across the country. Bhunir portal. It provides detailed information on the legal framework for groundwater extraction, including state and national regulations. Bhunir portal related to groundwater. Then you have National Aquifer Mapping and Management Program. This basically maps the availability of level of groundwater across the country, so that the extraction can be managed, regulated, and if any industry wants to set up its industry in a particular area and it needs water, so there has to be scientific technical input about the availability of groundwater, and this mapping basically provides the availability of groundwater across the country. Okay, so these are the main steps. I hope I have cleared all the things related to groundwater with specific to your prelims examination requirement. Okay, first we discuss the main bodies, then main pollutants, and then government schemes to manage groundwater. Now coming to the second topic, National Turmeric Board. National Turmeric Board was appointed in January 2025. First, the MCQ. Which one of the following statements is not correct? It's not correct about turmeric. Option A, it thrives in well-drained, sandy or clay loam soils. B, a national turmeric board was established for the promotion of turmeric. This is, we know that this is correct. It contains curcumin that has antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Curcumin. Okay. India accounts for less than one fourth of the global turmeric production. ठीक है. So first is, what is National Turmeric Board? This board was established in January 2025, and the purpose was to provide leadership on turmeric related matters. Leadership means production, processing, export. ठीक है. Augment the efforts and facilitate greater coordination with Spices Board. See, Spices Board is related with all the other spices except cardamom, and this basically works for the export promotion of spices in India, right? So again, the purpose is also to promote the export of spices. Its headquarters is in Nizamabad, Telangana. Nizamabad, Telangana. It is under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Commerce and Industry Ministry is all about export promotion. ठीक है. Composition is wide. है ना. The chairperson will be appointed by central government. Of course, we know that it's part of the Ministry of Commerce and Industry in the Union government, and the chairperson will be appointed by the Union government, and there are representatives from academia, state governments, research institutions, then the farmers who are growing turmeric. ठीक है. So it has a wide representation. Then some information about turmeric. ठीक है. It is also referred to as golden spice due to its color. Climatic condition, it is grown in diverse tropical conditions. Temperature range is 20 degree to 35 degree. This is not 200 to 3500. It is 20 degree to 35 degree. ठीक है. Annual rainfall requirement is 1500 mm or more, right? Soil, it thrives well in well drained sandy and clayey loam soils. ठीक है. जहाँ पे water आ रहा हो और water drain हो जा रहा हो. ठीक है. Properties, it is an active ingredient in turmeric. The active ingredient in turmeric called as curcumin has antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. That's why you see that in lot of medicines, particularly Ayurvedic medicines, turmeric is used because turmeric has property of, it is an anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. Last, it is a natural indicator that changes color depending on the pH of a solution. Okay, so those who are good in chemistry, they may understand this better. So these are the main things. So you should know 2-3 things, that the temperature range, rainfall, and it thrives best in well drained sandy and clay loam soils. Acha. Turmeric production in India. This is important. If I am correct, there was a question in Prelims 2025 as well on turmeric. Area under turmeric cultivation, there are 3.05 lakh hectare area in India in the financial year 2023-24, and there are around 30 varieties of turmeric which are produced in India, right? Production, 74% of the global production. ठीक है. क्वेश्चन में क्या था, that India accounts for 1/4 of the total global production. No, this is incorrect. So वही incorrect option था आपका, option D. India accounts for 70% of global turmeric production. Main regions where it is grown is Telangana, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, particularly the southern states. Together contribute to around 64% of India's turmeric production. Export. India has more than 60% of export share when it comes to turmeric in global trade. So 70% production, 62% is in export share. The leading export markets for Indian turmeric are Bangladesh, UAE, USA and Malaysia. ठीक है. So what is important here is that कि 3 lakh hectare, 70% of global production and more than 60% of share in global trade. Then you have, there are certain varieties, as I said, that across more than 3 lakh hectares of land, around 30 different varieties of turmeric are grown, and out of those 30, few have got GI tag, geographical indication tag. The first is Sangli turmeric, Vaigaon. It is produced in Maharashtra, and erode manjal, it is in Tamil Nadu, and Lakadong's turmeric, it is in Meghalaya. So you should know their name first. For example, by hearing the name erode manjal, it is difficult to identify that it is a turmeric. Okay? So you should know their name and from where they belong to. Right? So I hope all the relevant information about turmeric board and about turmeric and the GI tag I have delivered here. Now coming to the third topic, and this is the last topic for today. It's about green GDP. Right? हम GDP पढ़ते हैं. There are certain drawbacks of GDP calculation, and to kind of come up with a more accurate idea about GDP, to more accurate calculation about GDP, we also need to calculate the negative impacts of economic growth on environment and biodiversity. ठीक है? So होता क्या है कि जब आप GDP कैलकुलेट करते हो तो GDP में you take क्या, GDP is equal to consumer spending, government spending, investment spending plus export minus import. ठीक है? So whenever the consumers are spending, government is spending, this spending जो ये goods and services market में spending होता है, that goods and services market, that goods and services when they are produced, there's a lot of exploitation of natural resources, the pollution of environment, degradation of biodiversity. So those things are not being taken into account when the GDP is calculated in purely economic terms. ठीक है? So therefore the concept of GDP, green GDP has been coined to that also take into account, as the name itself suggests, the negative impact of economic growth on environment. Right? The question is, which one of the following is correct formula to calculate the green GDP? First is green GDP is equal to net domestic product minus cost of depletion of natural resources. Then net domestic product minus cost of depletion of natural resources plus cost of degradation of ecosystem. ठीक है? Third, GDP minus cost of depletion, वही है. सी इसमें है क्या कि तीन चीजें हैं. नेट डोमेस्टिक प्रोडक्ट, ठीक है, डिप्लीशन ऑफ नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज, थर्ड इज डिग्रेडेशन ऑफ इकोसिस्टम. राइट? और इसको आप एक अल्टरनेटिव ले सकते हो, जीडीपी. सो यू नो नेट जीडीपी एंड जीडीपी, नेट जीडीपी इंक्लूड्स द डिप्रिशिएशन. ठीक है? सो विल सी कि इसका आंसर करेक्ट क्या है. ऑल राइट. Why there is a need to have green GDP? Because as I explained, GDP overlooks the environmental depletion and degradation, ठीक है, often treating them as economic. तो आपको let's say furniture आप यूज कर रहे हो घर में, but to use that furniture one has to cut down the forest trees, ठीक है, to take out the wood, right? So that's kind of exploitation of natural resource. The move highlights the direct link between significant environmental contributions of forest and state's economic progress. So Chhattisgarh ने क्या किया है? Chhattisgarh has adopted the concept of green GDP and it will calculate. See, Chhattisgarh के पास क्या है? Chhattisgarh has significant amount of forest resources. ठीक है? So to maintain its forest stock or to take or to have an accurate account of its forest stock and other natural resources, it has adopted the concept of green GDP. Other than calculating gross state domestic product, it will also calculate green GDP. How green GDP will be calculated, we will see in the later part of this discussion. ठीक है? So as I said, forest accounts for 44% of land cover, playing crucial role in mitigating climate change. As I said just that 44% of land in Chhattisgarh is occupied by forests. ठीक है? Forest itself is a great resource for Chhattisgarh. Also, forest products like tendu leaves, lac, honey, medicinal plants contribute significantly to rural economy. So, apart from mitigating the climate change, providing other kind of services, it is integral part of forest, integral part of rural economy. Therefore, the forest stock has to be maintained and improved over time, so that it can, apart from playing its role in climate change, it can also supplement rural income, because it is an integrated part of rural economy. Variety of forest forest derived products are being used by people, and they help rural people, particularly tribal people, to help earn certain income. ठीक है. What is green GDP? This term was coined in 1980s with the aspiration to modify GDP better to reflect the impacts of economic activities on environment. ठीक है. Green GDP refers to the environmentally adjusted ग्रॉस डोमेस्टिक प्रोडक्ट. होता क्या है कि जब आप डेप्रिसिएशन अकाउंट करते हो तो यू अकाउंट फॉर द लाइक ग्रॉस जीडीपी नेट डोमेस्टिक प्रोडक्ट, सो you adjust the depreciation of all the capital products, machines, buildings, every other kind of capital things. ठीक है. यहाँ पे you are adjusting the environment degradation, right? And green GDP is equal to net domestic product minus cost of depletion of natural resources minus cost of degradation of ecosystem. See, यहाँ पे हम GDP like जो gross domestic product है ना, उसको हम नहीं यूज कर रहे हैं. This is a more accurate definition of green GDP, क्योंकि यहाँ पे आप जो आपके पास capital assets हैं उनका भी depreciation आप अकाउंट में ले रहे हो, and you are also taking into account the impact, negative impact on the environment. ठीक है. So you are taking both things into account to calculate the green GDP. सो वहां का ऑप्शन आपका, अगर आप देखो क्वेश्चन में, तो ऑप्शन बी उसका करेक्ट ऑप्शन होगा. तो दिस इज द एंड ऑफ आवर डिस्कशन टुडे. आई होप आई वाज एबल टू क्लियर ऑल द 3 टॉपिक्स. अगेन इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास आई विल कवर द रेस्ट ऑफ द स्मॉल टॉपिक्स ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट फ्रॉम जनवरी 2025. ठीक है. सो थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर योर पेशेंस.